Imagine walking into your home and instead of feeling peace, you feel pressure. Every surface has something on it, every closet is overflowing, and instead of relaxing, you're reminded of the 100 little tasks just waiting for you. That's the heaviness of clutter, and it weighs on us more than just our space. It weighs on our mind, our energy, and our joy. This month, I've set out to declutter 1,000 items from my home, and this is week 4, so welcome if you're doing this with me. Every week, it's just been about letting go of what no longer serves me and creating room just to breathe again. Today, I wanted to share not just what's leaving the house this week, but also the biggest lessons I've learned so far about why clutter holds us back and how freeing it is to finally let it go. Clutter tends to just sneak up on us a little here, a little there, and suddenly it feels like the walls are closing in. It's not just the stuff that we see, it's all the mental load of the constantly thinking, I should deal with that. What do I have to do with this? The constant whisper steals our peace, our focus, and even our time with the people that we love. But every time I let go of something, it's like a weight lifting off my shoulders. I can breathe a little easier, my home feels lighter, and little by little, so do I. This week, as we push a little closer to the 1,000-item goal, I'm reminded that decluttering isn't just about making space in our homes, it's about creating space in our lives for what truly matters. So let's dive into week 4 together. I'm going to show you what's leaving, what I've learned, and hopefully inspire you to let go of a little more too. In the beginning of the video, I showed you some pictures of what this space used to look like. That was a couple years ago when I first started. This basement used to be a complete disaster. I have plenty of videos because I used to have to come down into the space to do this on a regular basis. And even though I had done it regularly, there was still always way too much to manage. So I've had to let go of quite a lot. But the things that I still am holding on to are because I want to. I am not trying to be the picture perfect minimalist. That's not my goal. My goal is to have items in my house that we use on a regular basis, or even if I want to use it 1 or 2 times a year, that's okay too. As long as I know that I'm going to use it, it has a specific purpose, and I have the space to keep it, I'm okay. I don't need the house to be picture perfect, especially down in this area where this is a lot of storage. And I do have plans to turn the bedroom that my son used to live in into more of a storage space. So I'm hoping once I do that, I'll be able to have a lot more clothes storage. That's my goal. So some of the stuff I do hold on with hopes of being able to kind of close off some of that storage later on. But right now I'm okay keeping things looking the way that they are. They're easy to manage. When I do need them, I can easily find them, and that is my goal. I recently picked up these silicone small mini muffins and the regular muffins, and they're so much easier to clean, and I can throw them right in the dishwasher. So I think for now I'm not quite ready to let go of my larger ones because I do use them for holiday baking, especially the small ones. But if I do end up picking up a couple more of the silicone ones, again, they're easier to store, easier to clean, right in the dishwasher. I will eventually let go of these, but I'm going to put them over at my dad's house for now, but I am going to get rid of a few things from over there. Same thing with these grill pans here. I'm just going to store them over there for now because I don't want to let go of them, but I don't need to store them right here. Okay, my dad's currently doing some work in here, so the stuff is kind of like piled in front of everything, but that's just because he is in the process of redoing this room. But here is the stuff that I am keeping. I just have my dehydrator, a couple of roasting pans over there. He uses those sheet pans, and I like the racks for Christmas time when I do all the cookies. I put the bigger ones back there for now, and again, I'll decide if I want to keep those or let them go. And then there's just a couple extra pans down there. The back there is pretty much empty. There's just some foil pans. And this side is his stuff that he has. It's not mine. But I have those 2 pans that I'm going to donate as well. So now I have a little bit easier access to all of the items on this shelf. Again, these aren't things that I use on a daily basis. Those things I like to make sure that are super easy to get to, but these are things that I'm using maybe on a weekly or every other week, and they are easy enough to get to. Now, these things in my freezer, these little bag of tortellinis, I was trying to use them up. I would put them in other dishes with different tortellini, and I just can't get myself to get through the bag. I don't like them, so I'm just going to donate those. I have a couple things in these drawers that I wanted to go through that were getting a little bit past their expiration dates, more like a year past their expiration dates, so I decided to let those go as well. Pretty much everything else in these drawers are still good. I've recently gone through them, but there was just a couple things in here that I wanted to get rid of. I've actually really been enjoying doing it a little bit more slowly, getting rid of things a little bit on a slower pace, just because I feel like right now I'm more of a maintenance phase decluttering rather than in the beginning when it was so many items that I had to go through. It was very overwhelming. But now I'm just kind of going through very slowly and getting rid of things here and there, but it is still making a huge difference. Even if you get rid of 25, 30 items in a week, you're still going to feel that difference in your house in the way that it functions. Okay, let's count and see how many things we have for right now. This is a sweatshirt my son wanted to donate, my middle son. So, and this is a suitcase that my oldest son, when they came to visit, his girlfriend ordered a new one. She left her old one. My first instinct was to keep this and save it for one of us, just in case we needed it. But in reality, we already each have a suitcase this size, so we really don't need it. And we also have a larger one if we need that. So I'm gonna just donate this. It works, it's just the wheels are a little, I guess they don't work as great as they used to, but we're gonna get rid of it. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 24 items for right now. This has been sitting in my closet. I didn't even realize I had it. It's just a fabric softener, and we don't use fabric softener. So I don't even know why I have this, but I'm just going to let this go. So 24 items for right now. As I was editing the video last week about our bathroom reset, I realized that we don't actually use these washcloths. I like the 2 hand towels, and we have two of the other hand towels that are like this, but these are washcloths and we don't use them. So there's 3 of them. We're going to get rid of these. I have come to the realization that there are just some areas in the house that are going to need more frequent maintenance than others, and the Tupperware drawer is one of them. When I was hurt, my family was the one mostly putting away the Tupperware and the dishwasher and also the cutting board, so things got a little bit crazier than they would have if I was putting them away. But that is okay. We're just going to go through it today, and surprisingly, pretty much everything belongs in here. I just had to put it back together, and we did get rid of a couple things in this area, but there's some things that are just going to get a little bit messier. Even if you have a good system going, they just require some maintenance to keep them up, and that is okay. This used to be, again, a complete disaster. I have videos where this cabinet is just overflowing with so many things. And for the most part, I think every container in here does get used. My husband and I both bring lunches to work. I like to have different sizes for that type of stuff, and we eat a lot of leftovers. So they do actually get used, and it's really nice to have them all put back together the way that they should be. I think it's so important to make sure that when you're decluttering and trying to kind of minimize the things that you have in your home, that you really think about you and your family and how things work. I know sometimes people will say, keep 2 plates, 2 bowls, 2 spoons, 2 forks, whatever, per person. That would absolutely make my life miserable, because just the way that we eat around here. I have teenage boys, a husband, and myself, and we need a certain amount of plates and bowls where we're not having to wash them every couple of hours. So, I just have enough for all of us. Plus, when we have company, I like to make sure that we have enough for company at all times, just in case someone were to stop by or we needed something. And I just make sure that I'm running the dishwasher every day. And that works perfectly fine for us. If you're a smaller family or a larger family, things may be different for you. But just don't always listen to all of the advice that you hear online. You can certainly take into account what people are saying, and you probably have more than you need. But just make sure that you're listening to your instincts and really just going with what works for you and your family. If you are newer to my videos, you may not know that I am into preparedness, and I think that's where a ton of my clutter had come from before, on top of many years and decades of just not getting rid of anything. But I also do believe that it's important to have things just in case, not necessarily things that are not important, but if there's ever any kind of weather emergency or power outage or something like that, I do like to have things for those reasons. So I think that's maybe why I also have, quite a few things, and that's why I'm okay having them. I do think it's important to be prepared for things like that, but I also had to kind of rein it in and figure out what's important, what's not, and also what I'm able to manage, because there's a ton of things that we could have and that maybe we should have, but the house just is not big enough. It's not set up like that. And I really have to try to prioritize what's important for us at this time. So that's why you probably saw a lot in my basement. We have a lot of food and things like that. And I also am not someone who likes to go to the grocery store every day. So I always like to have things on hand to be able to pull meals together. So you just have to do what's right for you and your family. I redid this space with you guys maybe a couple of months ago, and as I said, it was working perfectly up until I was not the one putting the cutting boards in all the time, and things just got a little bit out of control. So it just took a couple minutes to reset everything back the way that it should be. I put a couple new things in there just to hold up the cutting boards, and it is working perfectly at this point, now that I am the one, kind of putting them in a little bit more carefully than other people would. I finally got the stainless steel cutting board, and I am absolutely loving it, but my only issue with it is that it's flat. It's flat to the counter. There's no rivets or anything for if food leaks or there's water or anything. Everything just goes onto the counter. So if you have any suggestions of ones that are more like the plastic cutting boards, in that they have a little bit thicker and there's that rivet around it to collect all of the fluid, I would love to hear what they are. All the ones that I've seen have not been able to go into the dishwasher, and that's one of the things that I really like about this one. It goes right in the dishwasher, and it's super easy to keep clean. I feel like it's more sanitary, but that's the reason I haven't gotten rid of my plastic one. Even though I know that they're not great, it's easier when I'm doing meats and things like that. It doesn't get all over my counters, and again, I can throw it right in the dishwasher. Okay, now I have all the lids on everything. The top, I just have a couple extra things there. My larger leftover containers. I was able to fix the cutting boards to make them actually standing upright. So I do feel like it's a lot better than it was. And then here's just two things that I'm getting rid of. Here's something that I'm pretty sad that I'm decluttering, but that over there in the right hand corner is some turkey stock. I made it in 2021 and 2022 after Thanksgiving dinner. I went to use it the other day and I just couldn't get past the timing, so I am going to declutter them, just because I just did, I think, 13 quarts of chicken stock that I have to make room for. I've got my vegetable stock there. I've got some corn stock there. So I need to make some room on the shelf here for the chicken stock. So I will take these off and show you what it looks like once I'm done and how many cans we're actually getting rid of. I moved over the vegetable, put all the corn stock there, chicken stock, and then I have just a few cans of canned chicken left before I do up hopefully a new batch soon. I've got my corned beef and just my regular beef chuck, and then just some other cans down there of some soup, pickles, applesauce. Now it is time to finally get everything bagged up, put into my car, and taken to the donation center. That's actually one of my biggest weaknesses, is I am good at decluttering and putting things into boxes, but I definitely procrastinate when it comes to actually getting the things out of my house. So I figured before I continued on, it would be a good time to kind of get everything bagged up. I put it into my car and I actually drove it to the donation center this afternoon, so it felt really good just to get everything out of the house. Now I did take a sweatshirt out of this bag, this one here, because I thought maybe it would fit my youngest son. Spoiler alert, it did not. So I put it in his room and he tried it on after school. It did not fit him, so I did put it right back into the pile. Okay, so to finish off this week, we've got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 more items. We will get all that colored in and see how many we're up to for week 3. And then we're going to load up the car and I will show you everything that I have in the back so I can finally bring it to the donation center. That's one of my weaknesses, is actually getting things out of the house. So I've bagged some things up. We'll put them in the car and get them out to the donation center. I'd say that we had another successful week. We got 38 more items out of the house and I am very happy about that. We will start again for next week. Here is everything that I've got loaded up in the car. And like I said, I did drop everything off. Thanks for hanging out. I will talk to you next week. Bye.